how was it in them digging in the crates days? You in the stew with Finesse, Big L, OC, Showbiz, you know what I mean?
AG,
Show and
Diamond D,
AG, all of the, what kind of how was y'all creating and what
Big
was the
L.
process? And yeah, what was it like with just all of them
That's
bar,
probably like
bar
y'all, like,
those is all bar masters.
you know how y'all lyrically spar. You know what I'm saying? You got the locks is all love, but y'all all spitting. You know, digging in the crates was a crew of spitters. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got Finesse. Finesse was king at the time.
Crazy. You kidding me?
Bar king.
Finesse. When Lord Finesse came out, it changed. He shifted shit. His flow, his slow flow, his wordplay was just crazy. The shit he was saying was incredible. You
I
know
think,
what I mean?
you know, Finesse, the only other rapper I saw besides like maybe you when you came out in L is maybe Pooh Bah, right? So
Grand
Grandpa, so
Poobah's
Finesse
dead.
had the
Shout
kind
out
of
to
show.
Poobah. Poobah's one of them ones,
He's
baby.
one of them ones. So it's like Finesse, if you went to his shows, people literally was there for bars. So
Yeah.
he do his songs, but they want his freestyles. And they were like, oh, and then he'll say another bar, oh, then he said another, like, I never been in nobody's show where they just waiting for the bar, the bar, the bar. They was going crazy for him. You know, Pooh Bah is another guy. I remember I was at a club in Manhattan. It was Rampack and everybody was there. This one, everybody danced. You know, the Benetton bags, everybody going. And then the DJ say brand new Grand Pooh Bah. And I watched the whole club stop dancing and run by the speakers to listen to Grand Pooh Bah. That's how he had it like that. Now, AG, very underrated. AG from Digging in
Definitely.
the
Shout out
Crates.
to AG, my bro.
He might be my favorite Digging in the Crates rapper.
Wow.
Right? AG is very underrated. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He got bars. Then you got Diamond D, who's like, to me.
Shout out to Diamond. I forgot to give my big bro the ultimate flowers. Diamond
set this whole thing off.
Kidding me?
To me, I think he's the first producer rapper to where he was producing the hottest beats,
and
but also
also spitting. Yeah,
he was making hip hop.
He's making fire production, and his bars was fire.
And you know what's crazy? Whenever I sat with Pharrell or I sat with Kanye, they both would ask me Diamond D stories. They would be like, yo, how you produced Sally Got a One-Track Mind? Was you there? You know, how you did, you know, so they salute him on another level, right? You got Showbiz, who was the streets, and he could rap when he wanted to rap, but he could produce incredibly. He was everything. OC, I was there.
Crazy. I ain't to deny it.
I ain't in the niacin.
You lack the minerals and vitamins.
He was in Brooklyn, and I was there when we, you know, they came to me and it was like, yo, we thinking about OC. I was like, yo, we need that guy on the team. That guy's spitting crazy. Shout out to Buck Wild with his production. Buck Wild, story to tell. Whoa, my lifestyle.
Several.
I mean, crazy. Buck Wild, one of the greatest producers. And
Big L, I need a documentary, crack.
Big L's the only rapper that ever threatened me before we did a song. Not even Pun, not even you. Nobody has ever sat me down. And Big L, because you know I was the first one to go gold and Digging in the Crates. So he sat me down and he said, listen, crack, we doing this song. I'm going to destroy you on this song. I'm going to take all your fans. All your fans are going to be mine. You just sold 500,000. I need them. We was in D&D studio. He sat me down and talked this shit crazy. Then that's when we made the song The Enemy that Primo produced. So I had to step them bars up. It's actually my favorite rhyme I ever said in my life. Enough's enough. Fed aroused trying to set me up. Put me in cuffs and crush what I lust into dust. Plus, they want a brother soul, but they know Big Joey crack and never rat a cat. I had to be on my A game with Big L because he sat there and watched me write the rhyme in his face, threatened me. It was so crazy, but I love that song. And shout out to the DITC because there is no Fat Joe without digging in the crates. And so and also I feel like I was the wackest one. If we keeping it a buck, like they were so good that, you know, I wasn't as good as them. That's it. That's just the bottom line. Over the years, I stepped
But you
up my
still had
lyrics.
something. You still here. Still, you know what I mean? You had something in you to make you want to keep going and turn into an iconic star such as you are. So that I think being in them rooms and being in them studios and them environments, they engage something in you for a longer, you know what I mean? Your
Oh no,
longevity in the game
these guys,
to be here now from Flojo is impeccable. Though I don't care what's going on. There's still dudes like you, Buster, LL, that still be getting money, still active, still relevant from the Flojo single to now. Somebody, they owe you they owe you shit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I want to switch it up and give it's a big week of birthdays. You know what I mean? B.I.G's birthday.
Oh wow.
We had to give a shout out to my brother B.I. Happy birthday to Biggie. It was also Havoc's birthday, Buster's birthday. You know what I mean?
Man, I didn't know it was Havoc's birthday. Shout out to Havoc. He came to my mother's funeral. I thought that was really, really even though we kept it small and tight, I thought that was really, really beautiful of him. You know, to have my camaraderie just, you know, my comrade just show up. Uh you talking Buster. Biggie went to the same high school. You talking Havoc. Just a week ago, we was talking about they had the greatest album in history. So these three birthdays back to back. You know, B.I.G. is my man. You know, I love Biggie. Shout out to Miss Wallace. She
Definitely.
recently passed.
Rest in peace to Mama Wallace.
You know, I felt like, I don't know if I'm weird, but I felt like she was the mother of hip hop.
Of hip
I
hop,
don't,
yeah. It seemed
I
like she's
just,
everybody's mother, yeah. That's a fact, right?
yeah, she
That's
feel
a
like the
fact.
mother of hip hop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and so when she, and shout out to Feeny Shakur, she died a couple of years ago. You know, it's always going to be big and pop. There's nothing, you know,
That's the standard. That's the
that's the
bar right there.
standard.
Yeah.
You know, and they both are powerful women. But shout out to Havoc, man. Shout out to Buster. Shout out to B.I.G. I mean, these guys mean so much to me. You know what I mean?
For the culture. You know what I
I
mean?
believe that if I'm on my deathbed and there's one request, it's gonna be that music. It's gonna be that music. I gotta hear the music. I'm my whole genetics. You know, if they go into your DNA, your blood work, your bones, your this, everything. It's about music.
Connected to the music. Oh,
Yeah, it's like I gotta hear music at every time of the day, whether it's on the plane, whether it's in the car, whether it's working out, whether it's
it
I
soothed the
gotta
savage beast music. We needed to soothe us to keep us balanced, keep us under control. You know what I mean?
yeah, you got that Michael Jackson shirt on, man. What MJ? Yeah, you know, I tried to explain to my driver the other day. I threw some MJ on, and he's a young Dominican kid. And I was like, yo, you know Michael Jackson? And he was like, yeah, I know him, but I said, he said he got to this country when Michael died. And so you
That's
know,
when he arrived here when Mike died.
yeah. So
Oh
he's
shit,
like,
he missed he missed the world.
he missed the moonwalk.
he missed he
He
missed
missed the
shit.
Motown 25th anniversary. Like, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, so how you know? He said, when I came, he died, and everybody was telling him, this is the greatest of all, this is the greatest. Then he started listening to his music, like, wow. You know, MJ to me was so futuristic. He was ahead of his time. And everything they argued with him for, you know, they doing it now. You know, Botox, this, that, everything he ever did, you know, I
They
got
doing
my
it now.
I got my tooth pulled the other day. They put me to sleep. So I'm telling Remy, yo, my dentist put me to sleep. She was like, yo, when they put you to sleep, that's the best sleep in the world. Yo, how we get that? I said, yo, Rem.
No.
I said, yo, Rem.
No, Rem.
I said, yo, Rem. You better
Remy.
take it. Yo, Rem. That's
Nah.
the propofol. You don't want that. I try to tell her, yo, Rem, you don't want that type of shit. That's how MJ died.
Yeah,
Fucking with the. Could you imagine the propofol? How they turned around and had him on anesthesia every night to go to sleep?
That ain't the thing to do.
Shout out to MJ, man. Listen, man, check this out. We're gonna talk about hip hop, the origins, how hard it was for us to get in the game. I'm curious to know. See, I knew about the Warlocks. I knew about I knew about y'all from day one. But what you think is the difference of then and now? Or I'd rather you just say how y'all got in the game, and I'll explain how I got in the game, or Terror Squad got in the game.
Even way we cut and slice it, it was still what we had to do to get here. It was much harder. It was much harder and much challenging just to be able to record music. Fuck getting in the game, just to find somebody. This is before ever going in the studio, just to find somebody that had equipment to record some freestyles or record whatever you had to write was like a task. It was only only a few, you know what I mean? So to pass that stage and then enter going into the studio and finally, recording some music that you thought was good enough to pass to the DJs or pass to a record executive. The journey from just there to there was crazy.
Well, a record executive is it's impossible. Like when I first started rapping, I just thought it was, I'm just rapping for the hood. I didn't think I would ever get a record deal. Like I thought it was like just me for the homies playing this shit. I never thought, shout out Keyboard Money Mike, the first guy who ever put me on like Bronx Cable. And me and my brother Tone Montana, we used to watch that shit over and over again. Like he'd be like, yo, you gonna blow one day. I'm like, blow. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when did you get close enough to where you felt like, oh, I could give this person this mixtape and they could get it into the proper hands?
It was a bunch of shit that happened, but fast forward to the demo that actually was the one that was able to get passed to Mary, that eventually went to Puff's hands. We was recorded in D&D Studios.
Wow, you got the D&D. Shout out Mary, she was in the house last night. Yeah.
MJ, what's up, baby? We shot it. We was in D&D. However, we got the bread to make it to D&D, and it was actually while Hov was making Reasonable Doubt.
He was there.
Yeah, he was in another room making Reasonable Doubt, and we actually seen, it was a pool. Remember that? You could play pool in there.
Yeah, that's where fucking Big L threatened me and the enemy, where I had to write the rhyme in his face.
We bumped into Jazzo in there and ended up getting a beat from Jazzo that went on our demo that ended up actually being a song on Puff No Way Out. That sold 10 million. So we recorded a demo in D&D. We was still wet behind the ears, but we felt like these songs was good enough. Mary got a cousin that was a part of our everyday entourage, J-Bop, Jamarco. So we kept him. We knew once we got some songs good enough, we could get it to him and he could get it to Mary. So that's what we did. And she happened to be on tour with Jodeci and she popped it in, I think, on a tour bus. And that was our end before all the other shit that I'm gonna tell you. But yeah.
That's crazy because shout out to D&D. One time I beat a guy's brakes with the phone, with a red phone in D&D. Just was pounding them out with the phone, the old school phone with the wire.
Ooh, a house phone.
Nah, yo, they hated me forever since because it was like, D&D was like the flyest studio, but I had the juice. I was already Fat Joe. My man was like, yo, my girl, she in the studio with these other rap guys. She was like, she's in D&D, and this Bob, yo, when I tell you who behind the scenes, you go bug out. He was like, yo, she in there with the dude. So I had to use my face to get in there. I'm like, yo, it's Joe Crack. They opened the door, and then we beat the brakes off this guy. And they never who was it? Dave and was it Dave and Mike? But anyway, man, shout out to D&D. D&D, one day I saw Jay in there recording with OC. They had this one song together, and I was up in there, and they was rocking. D&D was like, if you made it to D&D.
You made it to, that was like to get the recording D&D was, you felt like you
Primo had his own.
Yeah, Primo ended up buying it. He ended up buying D&D, right?
He ended up buying D&D, and then you had, so the Who's Who was in there. It was almost similar to like a Bobito and Stretch. And so I'll tell you a better one. I went to a Ron G mixtape, and I was going in, and Biggie was coming out. And I'm like, yo, Big, what's up? This, that.
Oh, that's the shotties by the shower when he said that one.
What he said?
When the shotties by the shower, you tried to shoot me while I'm shitting.
I don't even know. I'm telling you,
that Ron
I'm
G
walking in.
Had Pac and Big on.
Listen,
right?
I was there. So
Polo Grounds? Where you did?
No, it wasn't Polo Grounds. It was he had almost by Up NYC. He had a crib on Riverside Drive.
Oh, all right.
So it was like right around from Up NYC. So I'm walking in there. Biggie Smalls is walking out. I do a freestyle. And when I'm walking out, Tupac is coming in.
Yeah.
So that was the type of shit we were happening in Stretch and Barbito, where you hear the infamous, we wouldn't call it a battle, but the infamous freestyle with Big L and Jay-Z. Barbito had an open door. That shit was like if you fucked up, Barbito and Stretches, like they had everybody coming in. The craziest guys you could think of. The door was always open. And so that's when they had that legendary, I wouldn't say battle, but it was Big L and Jay-Z in there. Like Pun broke through Stretch and Barbito, but this 4 a.m, you gotta wait. You might go there one night and the whole Wu-Tang Clan is in there 13 deep, freestyling for 20 hours, and then you might get the last 10 minutes to play your new demo in there.
Those days. Speaking of mixtapes, I got a story. Do you remember this? I don't even know how we all ended up. What's the first shit on 54th? Sony? Yeah, Hit Factory's in the middle. We was in Sony, all of us. Me, you
was rich already.
Nori. Nah. We was already who we were. It's still the early. This is 90s, early.
Sony was so hard.
Listen, we in there. Me, you, the Locks, Joe Crack, Nori, some other artists. Clue is there. Y'all put pressure on him. You felt he was putting your songs too far down the thing. Like, because in the mixtape era, if you wasn't in if they don't put you on a certain part of the tape,
when they put you number 28 to 26,
that's the ultimate
disrespect.
Yeah, nobody's listening to that.
So you seeing me?
I seen it was. I don't even remember how we all end up. We wasn't recording like a We Are the World or none of that for everybody to be there, but there happened to be mad artists and Clue, and y'all put a little pressure on Clue, like, yo, Clue, why the fuck you keep making my songs number 20 something in this? And good thing we worked that out.
I saw Biggie, Clue hates the story, but I gotta say, Clue's my brother.
He leaked one of them big
songs.
Bro,
I was in Club USA. By the way, that was the flyest club ever. When Biggie came up to me at the Derringer, he had the 22 Dillinger. He was like, yo, you seen Clue? I swear to God, I just saw Clue. He was like, yo, you seen Clue? He put my shit on the tape. I'm gonna go get it. I was like, nah, I ain't see him. And I just saw Clue walk through. Clue hate when I tell that story, but Biggie definitely showed me the hammer and say he gonna find Clue, he gonna give it to him. Did you used to drive out to Queens to give Clue your song?
We would, by that, Clue was coming to either Rough Riders or they would pick Rest in peace. Pick would bring Clue the songs, or he'd come to the studio.
Man, I used to have to go to Queens. It was that highway, and the police was always on that highway, pulling everybody over. And then at the end, they had like a 24-hour fruit market. That's where I used to meet Clue to give him the songs. But I remember, I was scared to fly. So I used to drive down to Miami twice a week and just be listening to every Clue tape. Shout out to Bakima, everybody who ever sold the mixtapes.
Harlem Music Hut.
Harlem Music Hut. Yo, one day when I had my sneaker store in, not sneaker store, because we ain't have sneakers, but it was Fat Joe Halftime.
Oh, Halftime.
But yeah, we used to sell a mixtape. One day the police came in there and it was locking me up for the mixtapes because we used to sell the mixtapes. It was illegal. So they was like, yo, somebody got to go to jail. We had my man DJ Ed. He's in Atlanta. He didn't want to take the charge. He was like, yo, I can't go to jail. I wound up almost getting locked up over mixtapes. Thank God the cops just gave me a summons. But I was going to jail for selling mixtapes. It was the craziest shit. I was already a rapper. But you know what I would do, right? Shout out to Ralph McDaniels. He
Uncle
gave me
Ralph.
a huge opportunity. So for kids that don't understand, we talking about analog and shit before shit was digital and all that. All the kids would run home at 3:00 to go see Video Music Box. That's how you see the artist.
This when the TV had knobs on it, kids. You had to turn the top one on the bottom.
This is when your man, I don't even got a pocket. This is when your man Special Ed had the one hand in the pocket in the bubble and was like, I got a dog with a solid gold bone. What? We was like excited, but I met Ralph McDaniels, I'm not sure where. And I started going to see him. He had an office downtown by City Hall, and I used to have to walk. The elevator was always broken. 31 flights of stairs, and that's Fat Joe. And then Ralph started letting me host. So we going to clubs and all that, and I'm hosting, yo, what up? It's Fat Joe, yo, Video Music Box. I'm still in the streets, too. I'm wearing, like, Vans suits, big Cubans. Like, they know that's Poppy who got the work up in the Bronx. But I needed that look. You know what I'm saying? I needed that, Video Music Box type shit. I went to Apollo Theater. So for you to understand is my whole crew was already on. So Finesse, I grew up with Finesse. Lord Finesse, he said I could say this story, but Lord Finesse used to, back in the days, he was an entrepreneur. So he would sell the newspaper, right? So he had a newspaper route. So he'll come around and go paper.
I had one too.
You too?
Yeah, I had a newspaper. Bro.
So Finesse used to go paper, and then your moms are paying him $1 for the newspaper, but he bought it for 50 cents. He made 50 cents to go to the store to go get it. So I met Finesse through that, and we used to hang out. But he used to tell me all the time, yo, I'm going to be a rapper. Right, and I would go to his house. He would DJ. His grandmother was there. And one day I was listening to Red Alert. And your man, Finesse, he played like 3 or 4 Finesse songs. And I was just like, he made it. If it wasn't for Lord Finesse, there would have never, ever, ever been Fat Joe. Like I would never believe that I could become an artist in my life. I had to see it to believe it. So when I'm listening to this, Lord Finesse is the man that you had to hear. I'm like, yo, I'm going crazy. And so Finesse gets on, Showbiz and AG get on, and Diamond was on before all of us, Stunts, Bloods, and Hip Hop, classic album. And so I said, you know what? I was hustling, I was in the streets, and I said, yo, I'm going to Apollo Theater. So y'all got to understand, I'm in the streets, making money, respected in the streets, doing everything I got to do. And I said, I'm going to the Apollo Amateur Night to get on. And this is a real story, right? So I'm already buying Dapper Dish. I'm caked up. You see me in the clubs popping bottles, all type of shit. I'm doing what I'm doing. So I go in there and I remember, so this is the heart of a lion, a heart of someone who, I remember I went up in there and there was like 150 groups. And I remember like, yo, why are these people in here? Like, I'm here. Like this is over. Like, no, I swear
You already won in your brain?
What? I walked up in there like, yo, this shit, Shout out to Coco Graf. She just won the tennis. She
Coco
said
Gauff.
the whole crowd was screaming for her opponent in the French joint. And she started telling herself, Coco, Coco. They screaming Coco, but they were screaming the other girl's name.
In French.
And so you got to talk yourself into, you got to speak into existence. So I walked up in there. I ain't know what it was, but I looked at them. I said, these guys can't fuck with me. And sure enough, we went out there. I had the yellow Dapper Dan track suit. We came outside. I had the dances. And I had a song. It was called He's a Big Shot. Fat Joe is a big shot. And I came outside and the crowd went crazy. And I tried one day to really think about it and be like, yo, what did I say to make them go crazy? But I really ain't say nothing. The second I walked outside and started rapping, there's always no disrespect. There's always a fat girl that gets up there and goes, and I am telling you. And she kicked her shit off. She kicked them shoes off. You know it's over when the fat girl come up in the Apollo and go, and I am telling you.
That's
and
it.
kick her shit. It's over.
Can't take it.
That's the cheat code. Yo, that's the cheat code in the Apollo.
It's always a
She kick her
voluptuous woman
fucking-
that can sing, yeah.
She kick her voluptuous.
A voluptuous.
She kick her
We in
shoes
media
off.
now. We got to
roll
switch
up.
the words.
Yeah, all right. We in a different type of thing.
What's this song go?
Curvy.
How the song go?
And I am telling you, I'm not going. She come up in there. That shit is.
You might gotta-
Everybody going crazy.
Oh, shit.
So it's similar to her. The fat guy came out. I tried. I stood up in the hotel room one day really trying to think about how I won the Apollo. And they just went crazy. They seen Joe Crack. I don't know if they knew me from the hood, from everywhere, whatever the case. And they just started screaming like crazy. They couldn't have heard one rhyme. I don't even remember one
Can't
rhyme.
even hear what he said.
You understand what I'm saying? I was blessed. God said, yo, they gonna go crazy for this guy. And I won 4 weeks in a row. And that's how I met Red Alert. Red Alert came up to me and was like, yo, DJ Red Alert, who ran the game. It was him and Mr. Magic. There's only 2 DJs playing hip hop.
Facts.
Prime time every week. So Red Alert came to me and was like, yo, do you got any jingles, any demos? So I gave him Flojo. So I remember I was home in the projects and I had the flu. And this must have been COVID, way before the COVID. Like, I was fucked.
COVID-18.
Fucked up. There was that COVID 88. There was 88, nigga. Like, yo, that COVID came up on it. I was fucked up. And for like 2 months after I gave him my demo, I was waiting to hear it. And man, that's just it. Boom, boom. I was like, yo! I jumped up. I must have hit the ceiling. And I ran. I had the speaker and I threw it on the window right quick. And everybody was in front of the projects. And I was like, yo, this is my shit. This is my shit. Red Alert playing my shit. And so he played the Flojo. And then maybe like a year later, Chris Lighty, rest in peace, came to my hood, my
Jets,
block.
yeah.
I'm hustling. Fuck my jacks. He came to the spot. He said, yo, you know who I am? I said, yeah, I know who you is because I used to see Chris Lighty in the streets and all that. He was like, yo, I'm Chris Lighty. I think you could be a big rapper. I just signed a big deal with Relativity Records. He had Chi Ali, he had the Beat Nuts, and then I was the third one. And he was like, yo, you know, I want to make you a rapper. And I was like, what the fuck? I showed everybody that check. It was a $50,000, but it was a legit check. It's a little bit different getting drug money than getting a real check. Like, look, I got a real check. I'm showing everybody my check. Like, yo, my check. Like, yo. And that changed my life. Everybody want they just do. Shout out to Cleveland, man. My brothers Bone Thugs and Harmony. One day I'm gonna get up in here and talk some Bone Thugs and Harmony stories. Those guys, biggest in the game, 30 million sold. They were the Michael Jacksons of hip hop. They the first guys I ever seen to get that big. And you know, Big had asked me to plug them in with him to do Bone and Biggie. And so, you know, because they was cool with Tupac, They were like trying to play, and so I had to convince him, like, yo, I need y'all to do this for Big. And Big he was smart enough to know, yo, Joe, those your peoples. You could get them. I said, I tried. They sold 30 million. I ain't even had the balls to ask them to do a song with me yet. I was like, yo, and I was with them every day. So I stepped to them, and that's how that Bone and Biggie, Bone and Biggie came about. And so, there's certain songs that every time I hear it, I know where I was at the
That's
time,
what
or I know
music does
whatever.
for you. Music make you think of where you was at and how you felt or what was going on in your life at a time when you hear it. That's what's so good about music. You can put a playlist on and it can take you around the world and bring you back to a little kid or bring you back to somebody that you missing that was alive, or you know what I mean? Music does a lot of things for you.
Yeah, it's crazy because Mother's
It
Day,
soothes the savage beast.
yeah, Mother's Day, I couldn't listen to the "I Always Love My Mama." I would play that for my mom since I was a kid. And so this year she passed away just before Mother's Day. That was the hardest day for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't want to fuck with Instagram. I ain't really want to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? That touched a super duper nerve. LL Cool J, my favorite rapper of all time. Him and KRS-One. And so LL Cool J, man, I tell you an ill story, man. Video Music Box, Ralph McDaniels got it on tape. Shout out Ralph McDaniels. There would be no hip hop if it wasn't Ralph McDaniels. We rushed home. Did y'all used to run home to see Video Music
Kidding
Box?
me? You 31, man. You had to turn your TV. This is before all of this futuristic shit. You had to go
You had
up
to put your
and
hanger.
click it. Yeah, the TV with the hanger and turn it to U31, man. Video
After
Music
school,
Box.
he must have stopped a lot of violence because after school, everybody ran
rush
home.
home, man. You stop at the store, get your little snacks, and then go catch Ralph.
Yo, Ralph gave me the opportunity to host. So he saw this ahead of time. I met him in the streets. I'm trying to be a rapper, change my life. And then he was like, I used to go down to his office and walk 31 flights of stairs.
Wow.
The elevator never worked. And this Fat Joe.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
Fat. 3 fat.
Oh,
This is Fat Joe.
yo, this is really Golden Corral Joe Sizzler. At that time, it was Sizzlers.
Ooh, remember Sizzlers?
All you can eat Sizzlers. So I'm going up there, and then one day he said, yo, host the show. And I started hosting. That's how I got a bigger buzz out there. But Ralph McDaniels, I threw a birthday party at the Fever. And I had just met, Flojo was out, I had just met LL. So LL said, yo, come with me to this charity he had for kids. I went with him. He pulled up in my project. So you got to understand, LL Cool J was like Justin Bieber to us.
Facts.
Or Bow Wow. Like, he was so big, he wasn't a regular hood rapper. Like, we wouldn't see him in the streets like that. Or I wouldn't. So when he comes pick me up, he's my idol. He comes in a convertible Benz and he puts his hand out the window. I'll never forget, he had a rollie on. And I walked up to the car, I said, nah, man. I said, you got to get out. Because the windows was tinted. I said, you can't come to my projects and not get out. So he got out. My mom's was there. My son Joey was there. Everybody took pictures with LL. So on the way back from the charity, I shot my shot. And I said, yo, L, I'm doing my birthday party this Saturday at the Fever. He was like, oh, the Fever's still open? I said, yeah, it's the Fever Part 2, but I'm going to have everybody you name come. And let me tell you something. I had Puff was in there, Lady of Rage, Gangstar, Lord Tariq, Peter Guns, OC, the whole thing. Anybody that was popping at that time was in that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like a DJ Khaled birthday now, right?
Right.
So we in there, KRS-One, the walls are sweaty. This is when KRS-One is king of the Bronx still, right? So the walls is sweaty, it's ran packed. All of a sudden, like 2 in the morning, KRS is performing, and I hear some girls, oh, oh, they start going crazy. It's a red baseball cap, and he walks right on stage. It's LL Cool J in the South Bronx. He grabs the mic from KRS-One, and he tells the DJ, yo, throw that Flavor in Your Ear beat on. And he just start freestyling some shit. I never heard him say it on a record. And changed my life, man. That both my idols was on stage with me in the Bronx very early on. So shout out to LL Cool J, you know, the living legend, Rock the Bells. He doing so much for the people out there with Rock the Bells.
Iconic. Every
He
time I
feeding
see him,
everybody.
I give him
But let me tell you something.
nothing but praises and flowers.
Yo, Jada, you want to touch the top 5 one-hit wonders or something I came up with?
Top 5 one-hit wonders?
One-hit wonders.
I don't know. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. Like,
wow.
That was one. That's a big one. But that.
I can't think of 5 one-hit wonders. That's
all you could do.
Who else you think? Who you thinking? Who you got?
I told you that was homeboy. This is why I'm hot.
Mims, right?
Mims.
Yeah.
What's these guys? Girl, you know it's true, but that ain't hip hop. Milli Vanilli.
Don't you know Kevin Lyles got writer's credit for that song?
Yo, let me tell you.
Did you ever know that?
Yo,
Kevin Lyles is the writer for Milli Vanilli's that song.
Milli Vanilli, shout out Kevin Lyles. Milli Vanilli was actually dope.
Yeah, to that one mishap when they pulled it, when the thing started skipping.
I think that's most rappers today. When I go to these young boys shows or I got shows with them, they not saying one word. They letting the shit play and they just ad-lib they shit.
That goes back to craftsmanship, man. You gotta learn your music. You gotta learn how to rhyme over the TV track. You gotta learn your song. You gotta try to sound like the record.
Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby.
Vanilla Ice had more than one though, right? But Ice Baby's the one.
No, sir.
Ice Baby was his biggest song ever for a one-hit one. He might be the historian of one-hit wonders.
Yo, he lived on Star Island off of one song. This guy was superior, caked up.
Ice Baby. You
know, when you get a white boy to get one to go, that's crazy. I would say Bubba Sparks got more than one.
Nah. Don't put my man Bubba in there. Bubba ain't one of them.
You know who's one of them? I got 5 on it.
Hell no. But the Loonies ain't no one-hit wonder. Crack, you crazy?
What's the next hit?
They got shit.
They got music, but I'm talking about a
Party
hit.
like a rock star.
They what? Party like a rock star.
That's it. That's the only one they got.
Yo, listen. To be a one-hit wonder is the biggest blessing in the world. You know how many millions of people wish they could have had one hit? They never was able to walk the red carpet.
Get the right one. You only need one.
You only need one. Now, if you got 2 or 3, you straight. If you got a whole catalog.
You see my man? Panda.
Oh, yo, Panda is the one hit. Yo, he sold 10 million on that, right?
Maybe more. He made a shitload of money off that song.
Yo, man. You know they called him Jerky on then on the plane.
Yo, that's it. That's it, James. James.
Yo, the Panda. You know what's crazy? Is I seen him in Dubai in the airport that day. The same fucking day. He seemed so normal. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Panda, this.
Yo.
And the next thing I know, when I arrive in the States, Jerk Yondon on the plane. Nigga was tumbling dice. What's that shit? Yo, this shit crazy out here. Yo, it's so. Let me tell you something. You know who used to talk to me all the time? Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber.
He don't talk to you no more?
No. Justin Bieber, we do every now and then. But Justin Bieber, I'm going to tell you what fucked me up with Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber gets arrested just driving crazy around Miami. Raul, rest in peace, calls me up and says, yo, they looking for somebody to bail out Justin Bieber. It wasn't no money. It was nothing. A couple of $100, $1,000. We used Rich Player's girl to bail him out. So I bailed out Justin Bieber $100. It's
Well, you
no
had to
real
bail
money.
out Bieber? This is an ill story. No,
it's
that's
just-
ill.
It's because it was in Miami.
He
And
didn't have no money at the time?
no, he got money, but he ain't no criminal.
He didn't
I'm
know
trying
what
to
to
get
do.
to the point, Jay. We bail a man
Crack,
out.
hold on, we got to
He's
stop.
young.
You bailed out Justin Bieber. He's rich as fuck. He always been rich.
No, what happens is we all got friends in common, and they was like, we not from
They
here.
didn't know about
Needed bail bondsman. Rich
right.
Player at the time was dating Damati, the bail bondsman. And so we just got, it was about nothing.
Okay,
I'm trying to tell you, I'm not trying to get clout off of this. This is nothing. The problem is, he calls me to thank me and starts saying, yo, I'm a gangster now.
Since he got arrested? Oh, shit. Nah. He was in traffic? What did he got arrested for?
Speeding, right? But he started telling me he's a gangster, Joe. I went to jail. I said, yo, Justin, listen, bro. You got to stop. Like this, straight up, you got to stop. Like, we don't want you gangster. We want you singing, baby, baby. This, and I think if I would have gassed him, like some of these OG gang guys gassed the young kids, he'd have been like, Fat Joe. But I hit him with yo, we don't want you on the news, bro. We don't want you getting arrested. We want you to succeed. You're Justin Bieber. My daughter worships you. We all love you. And that kind of messed up my relationship with him at that moment because he really was like,
he wasn't trying to hear that shit?
Nah, he was just like, he felt like, yo, this guy, I'm the fun killer. I fucked up the moment. The problem is, we can't glorify going to jail or getting arrested and these rappers acting like it's some sexy shit. Because I know that the most I was intimidated, right? I walk into jail, right? And I'm not scared of nobody. And I swear to you, Jada, you will not see. I'm not scared of no man.
Not even the boogeyman?
Not the boogeyman either. But I walk in this jail and there's 2,000 guys, Aryan Nation, Jamaicans, Haitians, Puerto Ricans. They all cock diesel. The shit is like the movie Metal. And when they see me, it's like the Game of Thrones, the dragon without fire. They're like, ah! They screaming like, ah! Like, I never heard no shit like this. It's almost like 100 motorcycles screeching and what, ah! They jumping from all over. I'm like, I'm Fat Joe before rap. Rapper walk up in that jail, he fooled. I already know walking up in there. I said, oh man, somebody gonna run up on me real quick with a knife talking about, yo, you got to pay whatever, whatever. And I actually got intimidated. And while I'm walking to my cell, I gotta talk to myself, and I never gotta talk to myself. I gotta tell
I do it every day.
No.
I talk to myself.
Talk to myself like, yo, Joe, you ain't pussy. Don't fall in this shit. Yo, Joe, don't let niggas play you. Like, I'm walking to my cell, giving myself a prep talk in my mind because it's 2,000 guys screaming at one guy. I'm not even from there. It's not New York. It's not I'm in Miami. So I don't even know one person.
Well, you did time in Miami?
FDC, yeah, because they threw the change up. I'm supposed to go to New York. Now, this is the bragging part. I had 300 guys waiting for me in every jail in New York. Legendary, giving speeches. When he come through here, we had that. Albanians, whatever you name, they was all waiting for Joe Crack in the jails in New York and Jersey. I'm being honest.
Jail bit.
No, I'm being honest with you.
You're the illest thing in the world.
Last minute, on a Saturday, I'm thinking the borough of prisons is hearing all this shit.
It's switched and shit.
Send him down there, because he lived right down there. They sent me the rusty-ass, dirty building. I'm like, oh, my God. So I had to walk up in there. The point is, it's intimidating you being an artist going in jail. We talk about Tory Lanez. They was not playing with Tory Lanez. I do not know when you get 2 lungs collapsed, they stab you in your head, stab you in your chest. They try to really murder Tory Lanez. Right? It's nothing cute about it. I don't care how you look at it, but why Tory Lanez? Why you think he had all the prisoners had to get stabbed up 14 times and all that?
Sure, he ain't the only person who got stabbed up over there, correct?
Yeah, I understand that.
Over there is probably crazier than any jail you could think of, as far as gang shit. You know what I mean?
I knew that when he went
And
in
the
there.
guy that stabbed him is already in there for doing crazy. He was already a killer. He was playing with...
Remy does 8 years in her prime. In her prime, leanbacks, number one, this, that. She goes through 8 years. They sent her with murderers.
It ain't that much female prisons over here, though, isn't it? She was in
No, but
she
they
went
could have
to
sent her
Bedford,
to
right?
they could have sent her to the Martha Stewart. They sent her to where all these girls got
That shit
murdered.
wasn't federal. That shit was state.
That shit was state. But, and I'm
She was
asking
in the real.
her,
She was in the real. She was in the
real
trenches.
jail.
Yeah, she was in the trenches.
And really fighting chicks the size of Aja from fucking Vegas. You know, Remy was like, yo, we had to squabble up. Nah, I'm just saying, yo, I'm being honest. She had to fight fucking Brutus and shit like that. Like, she was like, what? What you said about me? All right, let's go. You know, but it wasn't cute. They put her with the murderers. Some people do time and they go to a camp, they go to this, they that. They threw her because her crime was with violence, with a bunch of murders. Tory Lanez, because his shit was violence. And so rappers out there, if you watching this and you want to learn anything, there is no...
They're not playing with rappers.
Club Med, a spot. In his mind, Big Pun thought they were fucking swimming pools and tennis for rappers. That's not happening. They got a big knife for your ass when you go in there and they cutting you, or you're gonna learn the extortion game really, really fast in jail.
Stay out of it. It's not the plan for me.
We go on, Pop Smoke. Man was so talented. He was the next superstar from New York City. He was gonna be a superstar.
He posted the address of where he was at off of a Mary bag or something, though. That's back connected to technology and hip hop. That would never happen if you over on Rodeo going crazy with the bag. When you get back to your suite, you're not gonna post it. Not gonna post what you just bought and have the address on it. So it's a messed up situation.
I believe that Pop Smoke was murdered. I believe it was a hit.
No, he was
job.
definitely murdered, but they got the drop of where he was at.
Yeah, but they didn't take his
media.
jury. They didn't take his money.
No, I'm not saying
that. They came
that.
in there and killed
I'm saying
him.
social media got them to know where he was at, which we didn't have, which saved a lot of rappers from our era.
We try to do that a lot now. Like not post where we at on real time and get up out of there and post after, because guys like P&B Rock, you know, posted he's in Roscoe's Waffle and Chicken. And you said...
Yeah, well, my first time in LA is when Big got killed, but when they give you the laws from not being in LA and you go there, that Roscoe's they tell you never go to that one. You know what I mean? And when they told us, it was erased from my brain to ever even think about going. And then fast forward all these years later after the success of P&B, and he just thought he could just go there with his girl and have a meal, and you know what I mean? They murdered him. That's fucked up. I wonder if they told him that Roscoe's is forbidden, or he just didn't, you know, he just wanted to go have some food with his girl wherever he wanted to go. And unfortunately, that happened. But they definitely told us, this is this and this. And this specific, if you want to go to Roscoe's, there's one or two that you should go to. But this one right here, don't ever go there unless you with. Don't ever go. No matter who you with. Just don't go to that.
Don't. Out of all the hip hop, which is the one that got you and you was like, wow, like I can't believe this happened?
By far, for me, it's Big. My first time, The Locks. It was our first time in LA when Big got killed.
Well, so y'all was out there.
He was at the
killed.
party. We was with him before, the day before. We was in his like.
Did you not feel like it was dangerous?
The saddest time at one time.
Did you not feel like it was dangerous being in LA and he had the East Coast, West Coast beef? And
I felt it was dangerous, but we really didn't know how to. We, you know what I'm saying? We didn't know what was really going on. We knew that shit was going on, but we didn't. We never been there. We thought we was heavily protected. We thought we was good. You know what I mean? We thought we was the same way. We kind of was because we had Bad Boy and we had D in them. We had a different kind of Army brigade with us. We had extra. We had extra
shout
protection.
out to D and
Know what I
Ice
mean?
Pick J. You know,
Rest
they
in
saved my
peace.
life, Ice Pick J. You saved my life one
I
time.
heard that story.
That's a real story.
Heard
They was
about.
gonna get me. And, you know, I had a lot of beef with the West Coast. I'm probably, and we're not stirring nothing up, but I'm probably the only rapper from New York that had physical beef with the West Coast, like real physical war. It went down, right? So when I go over there, me and Pun out there for the Grammys, there's 1 million cop cars in the street. And, you know, it was like gang beef. So they had a guy with jerry curls, a bubble goose. It was hot as hell. And the gun was to his ankle. I don't know how there's 1 million cops out here. They don't see the guy, O-Dog from the fucking Menace to Society. Like the man in the middle of the street dripping the fucking jerry curl juice with a machine gun, with a bubble goose on in the summer. And we don't rat. But I'm looking like, Jesus Christ, don't nobody see? And he looked at me like he could not go back to the hood without clapping Fat Joe. Not clapping, killing me. He had a machine gun. And so it was 1 million cops out there. I fucked up because we had the mansion. We knew whatever was going to happen, you know, don't go out over there. And we still, like dummies, went out. Shout out my brother Tone Patron, held it down, all of us. And so I'm sitting out there and the guy's there. There's a girl standing next to me and she sees what's going on. And she looks at me and says, a girl from New York, she said, "Nah, I'm sorry." She was like, "Joe, I'm sorry. I'm sorry this is happening to you." Like she could probably see like death in my face. Like the guy he was trying to figure out how to shoot me and get away from the 1,000 cops, but he couldn't go back to his hood without shooting me. So he was like, he looked like a dog in rage. And then out of nowhere, the door opens and D comes out. And D comes out, he's like, "Yo, Crack, what's up? This is that." And I looked at him, I said, "Yo." I just nodded the head. D from the Rough Riders, he looks over there.
General.
The general looks over there, he looks back at me, he said, "That's for you, Crack?" I said, "Yeah, it's for me." He said, "Yo, Ice Pick is gonna turn this corner in a white van. Y'all better just get in there, get out of here," right? So the van pull up. Ice Pick ain't even know he was saving us, right? He was coming around to get D. The van pull up. We got in that bitch like the fucking painting from Good Times. You remember Good Times? They had the shit where everybody was dancing sideways and shit like that. Good Times. Like, yo, we slid in that motherfucker. Yo, God was with us. It was crazy. It was like 6 or 7 of us. We got in that bitch and left in the van and looked back. That guy was so confused, he didn't know where the fuck we went. Because it was like too crowded. We got in the van. I was like, "Yo, Ice Pick, thank you. Saved my life. You don't understand this." He was like, "What happened?" I said, "Yo, nigga had the machine gun. They ready to clap us. This D told us to get in there." So he took us to the mansion, which a couple of blocks away. After that, we were safe. We went to the Grammys with guns on us. Me and Big Pun, that picture that you see us looking like superheroes, we actually had hammers on us in the Grammys because that was too much. We stepped outside. The point is, the danger, you know, is always there. I think of Big L, right?
Rest in peace to Big L.
Yeah, I'm saying he would not hurt a fly. Big L gambled, rhymed, had fun, never bothered the human being in his life.
He loved the ladies.
He loved the ladies. He chilled. He was funny. My little brother, and they murdered him on the block that he talked about in every one of his rounds. 139. I remember rushing up there when they told me I was at D&D. Cam and them was outside. I'm outside. They still got the body on the floor, right? And so he got murdered on his block. Same thing with Jam Master Jay. And so you say to yourself, you say, you know, we work so hard to better ourselves. At the end of the day, you got something to say. You rap, you want to rap about whatever you want to rap about. You want to show the world you're the best rapper. Then obviously we get financially smart till we see that there's money out here and we figuring out how to do this. I think backer in the day it was more celebrated.
Backer.
I think
I like that word.
backer in the day, old school, it was more celebrated. So we saw the hustlers, we seen everybody showing their shit off and they inspired us. But over the years with social media and all that, I think it's like bittersweet because it's more people looking at you with jealous eyes and hatred.
That's definitely, I think technology definitely plays a part of it because before it was just, you were here of the Boy Georges and whoever it is that was in Queens or Harlem. It was, you might could see him if you could make it to the Fever or one of them parties or the rooftop or some shit like that. You might have a chance to get a glimpse of somebody, but other than that, you just heard who was getting busy in the Bronx or YO or Queens or Brooklyn. And it then put the hate cancer couldn't spread. Now you can just scroll down and the switch can hit on. Now. Any social media platform, you know what I mean? You can look on Facebook, you can go on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. They can create their own narrative of hate now. Somebody can just say, I don't like Fat Joe, and just make a whole page and a whole shit of it.
Tell me about it.
Couldn't do that back in the day.
Nah, that happens.
It happens. It happens to all of us.
It happens to everybody, huh? And what's crazy is if we take it to modern day, skip a couple of eras, these kids are like getting murdered on video. Like Nipsey Hussle got, I think
everything's on video now, crack. That's the whole, everything. Everybody even's going like this, or is an eye in the sky. That pole has a camera that goes to the White House. The leaves on that tree is connected to Albany. It's really no fucking way to do anything right now opposed to back in the days. You had to see somebody somewhere passing at Jew Man or in the train station or sneaker store or club, and then it would go down, and if you wasn't there or nobody got killed or if they did, it just happened. It was, now, before your family know, the whole world is crazy. Where I walked the track at Kensico Dam, one day is an old lady, she's working out, she's coming down. I'm going up. An elderly lady that's working out is coming down, two young chicks is coming down. The lady, because the stairs is tilted a little, the lady loses her fluidity and goes off to the side, to the woods, grandma. Now the girls is in front of me. I'm thinking they gonna go get her. First thing they do, phone. Me, y'all crazy? I go help her up, dust her off, curse them out a little bit, keep going up the stairs. But I'm like, this is a shame. This lady was 70-something, 80-something years old.
One thing I take pride in, right?
Privacy.
No, I take pride. One thing I take pride in is that just like you, no matter how successful we are, we move around in the hood, get a lot of respect. And so one thing I love doing is supporting the community and supporting the local businesses. So whether it's Melba's in Harlem or the Borjillo in East Tremont in the Bronx, the Puerto Rican restaurant, I'm in there.
Pharmacy for Life in Scarsdale.
Pharmacy for Life.
I mean, Juices for Life.
Of course.
White Plain.
But what I'm saying to you is one day I'm in East Tremont in the Borjillo, and two people starting to get down. My daughter, I can't lie to you, she Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, they don't know. They can't imagine none of the shit we've been through.
No,
they don't know none of that shit.
We seen this regular guys arguing over an elevator, whatever. She don't know, and she just like, and we in the hood, and she looked like Little House on the Prairie, a little fur, white hat. They knew this girl ain't from around here, right? But two girls start arguing, they about to fight. They in the Puerto Rican joint, one of my favorites, and I'm eating. And like a 70, 80-year-old lady got up, pulled out her camera and said, World Star. An 80-year-old lady got up and then threw the camera in my face because I'm in the building.
She got to get you.
Like,
that's going to up her
this is
hits.
like 80-year-old.
She get Joe Crack on there
Shout out my
witnessing the
Titi
fight.
Barbara. My Titi Barbara, she know what time it is. You get in the car with her. She know every young person's raps. Like I met your aunt in City Island. She was telling me records and raps.
Nisi, she loved Nelly.
But she was telling me, yo, the cold rocks. She was throwing words, so I knew she loved hip hop. My aunt's like that too, but I don't think my aunt gonna get up and go world star.
Yeah.
Like the lady got up and said, "What, yo? I had a moment with myself. I sat there. I said, yo, this is fucking going. It's like the Maury show on the streets.
Never
like,
turns off.
It never turns off.
That's another thing why I say we had the best era in music, because we had privacy. All of the memories of shit that happened got to stay in the brain. You know what I mean? It was not a bunch of, soon as they sent something, mad phone